The Hayes mansion didn't feel like a home. It felt like a glass museum. Marble floors, tall windows, a chandelier that looked like frozen rain hanging from the ceiling. But inside all that shine, Emma always felt one thing very clearly. She didn't belong. She walked carefully with a silver tray in her hands. Evelyn, the billionaire's wife, lounged on the sofa, scrolling her phone. "Careful," Evelyn said without looking up. "If you drop those glasses, you'll work 3 months for free." "Yes, ma'am," Emma whispered. 2 maids nearby giggled quietly. "New girl," one muttered. "Still scared. Still polite." "She'll learn," the other replied. "Rich people don't see us. We're just hands." Emma pretended not to hear. Then, in the corner of the room, she saw her. Sophia. A tiny girl curled up in an armchair. An oxygen tube under her nose. Thin hair tied with a blue ribbon. Eyes too sad for a child. Her blanket slipped and fell to the floor. Everyone saw it. Nobody moved. Emma put the tray down and walked over. "Hi," Emma said softly, picking up the blanket and tucking it around Sophia's legs. "I'm Emma." Sophia blinked. "Are you Anu?" "Yes." Emma smiled. "And I'm terrible at walking past cold children." A tiny giggle escaped Sophia's lips. Upstairs, Michael Hayes stood at the railing, watching. Billionaire. Serious face. Cold eyes. "These maids," Evelyn sighed, looking up at him. "They always get emotional. They forget they're paid to work, not to care." Michael said nothing, but his gaze stayed on Emma a second too long. That night, the house went quiet. The lights dimmed. The staff disappeared into their small rooms. And just when the world outside turned dark and still, a scream shattered everything. Sophia's scream. Emma dropped the sheet she was folding and ran. Down the long hallway. Past the kitchen. Heart pounding in her ears. She burst into Sophia's room. Sophia was gasping. Her lips were turning blue. Her little hands grabbed at her chest. The oxygen tube had slipped away. "John, call an ambulance," Emma shouted. John, the old butler, rushed in, already dialing. "St. Andrew's Hospital, cardiac emergency. It's the Hayes girl." Emma lifted Sophia gently, holding her upright. "Stay with me, baby," she whispered. "Breathe, okay? Just breathe. I'm here." Sophia's voice was a broken whisper. "Emma, don't let me die." Those words stabbed straight into Emma's heart. Flashing lights. Sirens. Rain on the ambulance windows. At the hospital, everything moved too fast. Doctors shouting. Nurses pushing the bed. Machines beeping. Dr. Michelson looked grim. "Her heart is failing. We need to operate tonight." "Then do it," Emma said. "Please." He hesitated. "We need a deposit. And consent from her father." Emma grabbed her phone. She called Michael. No answer. She called again. Voicemail. On the third try, someone finally picked up. "Michael Hayes's office," a smooth voice said. "Robert speaking." "This is Emma, the maid," she said quickly. "Sophia is in the hospital. The doctor says she needs surgery now. They need money. They need his approval." In the background, Evelyn's voice floated in. "She'll be fine. They always exaggerate. Tell the maid to stop panicking." Robert sighed. "Mr. Hayes is in a meeting. He said he can't be disturbed." Emma's grip tightened. If we wait, she could die. But the line went dead. Dr. Michelson came back. "We don't have much time," he said softly. "Without payment, the hospital will delay." "I'm sorry." Emma sat there, shaking. Her mind screamed. "You're poor. You have nothing. You can't fix this." Then another thought pushed through all the fear. "You know where he keeps his money. Michael's study. the painting on the wall, the safe, the code she had seen by accident. Emma stood up. "Where are you going?" John whispered. She swallowed hard. "To do the one thing," she said quietly, "Mr. Hayes would never forgive, but his daughter might live to thank me for." Rain slapped the pavement as Emma ran toward the mansion. The security guard, half asleep in his booth, barely looked up when she flashed her staff pass. Inside, the house felt even colder than usual. No laughter. No children. No life. She slipped into Michael's study. Dark wood bookshelves. Soft leather chair. A faint smell of cologne and power. Her eyes went straight to the painting. Her hands shook as she pushed it aside, revealing the safe. She stared at the keypad. "This is stealing," she whispered. "This is crime. This is prison." Then she saw Sophia's face in her mind. Blue lips. Wet eyelashes. "Emma, don't let me die." Her fingers moved. Click, click, click. The safe opened with a soft mechanical sound. Bundles of cash stared back at her. More money than she'd ever seen in her life. She grabbed what the doctor had written on a small piece of paper, the exact amount needed for the surgery deposit. "I'm sorry," she breathed. "God, I'm so sorry." Minutes later, she was back at the hospital, soaked and shivering. She slammed the money onto the counter. "Use this for Sophia Hayes," she said. "Right now." The staff stared, shocked. But the system moved. Forms were signed. Payments processed. Doors opened. Dr. Michelson squeezed her arm. "We're starting," he said. "Whatever you did may have just saved her." Emma sank into a chair. She didn't see the hospital security cameras recording her. She didn't hear the alert pinging on Michael's phone. Alert, large withdrawal from private safe. Hours later, Emma's phone rang. She answered with a whisper. "Hello. Where are you?" Michael's voice was ice. "At the hospital," Emma said. "Sir, Sophia is." "I saw the footage," he cut in. "You went into my study. You opened my safe." A pause. "You stole from me." Emma swallowed hard. "I used it for your daughter. They wouldn't operate without." "You people always have an excuse," he snapped. "The police are on their way. Don't move." He hung up. Emma stared at the screen, frozen. At that exact moment, Dr. Michelson walked out of the operation room. He pulled off his surgical cap, exhaustion on his face, and something else. Hope. "She made it," he said quietly. "The surgery went well. She's weak, but stable for now." Emma covered her mouth as tears fell. And that's exactly how the police found her, crying with relief for the child she saved, just before they reached for the handcuffs. The hospital corridor went silent. Visitors, nurses, even the cleaner mopping the floor stopped to stare as two officers stepped toward Emma. "Emma Reyes?" one asked. "Yes," she whispered. "You're under investigation for theft of funds from Michael Hayes. Please stand." Before they could move, Dr. Michelson stepped between them. "Officers," he said firmly, "before you take her anywhere, you should know." A shadow fell across the floor. Michael Hayes had arrived. Dark suit. Tired eyes. Jaw clenched. Behind him, Evelyn walked in with sunglasses on her head like a crown. "Good," she said when she saw the officers. "Take her. She robbed us. She should be grateful we're not suing her family too." Emma turned toward Michael. "I did use your money," she said, voice shaking but clear. "Every word is true. But I didn't take a single coin for myself. I paid for your daughter's surgery when no one else would." Dr. Michelson nodded. "She's telling the truth. Without that payment, we wouldn't have operated in time. Your daughter is alive because of what she did." The hallway froze. People stared at Michael, waiting. The officer asked quietly, "Sir, do you wish to press full charges?" Emma closed her eyes. This is it. Prison. A criminal record. Her life over. Michael glanced through the small glass window into the ICU. Sophia lay there, small and fragile, but breathing. He remembered the bank alert, the camera footage, the safe. He also remembered the nearly silenced voice of the doctor. Without that money, she wouldn't have survived the night. For the first time, the billionaire saw the maid not as staff, but as the person who had done what he hadn't. He turned back slowly. His voice was quiet, but it echoed through the corridor. "No," he said. Evelyn spun around. "What do you mean, no?" Michael exhaled. "I'm not pressing charges." The officers looked surprised. "Are you sure, sir? The amount is—" "I know exactly how much it was," he replied. "And I know exactly what it bought." He looked at Emma. "It bought me my daughter's next birthday." The officers removed the cuffs. Cold metal slid from Emma's wrists and fell into the officer's hand with a soft clink. "Why?" Emma whispered. "You hate what I did." "I hate that you had to do it," Michael said slowly. "I hate that I made you choose between the law and my daughter's life." Days later, Emma walked back into the Hayes mansion. But this time, she wasn't just the maid. She had a new contract, a new room, a new title. Sophia's full-time caregiver. Michael also started something else, a fund in Sophia's name to help children whose parents couldn't afford life-saving treatment. One evening, as Emma sat by Sophia's bed reading a story, the little girl reached for her hand. "Daddy told me," Sophia whispered. "You broke a rule to save me." Emma smiled through quiet tears. "Would you be mad if I broke it again?" Sophia shook her head. "No. I just call you my hero. Now I want to ask you." Backhand index pointing right. If someone stole your money only to save your child's life, would you want them punished for the crime? Or thanked for their courage? Tell me in the comments, is stealing always wrong, or does the reason change everything? Thought balloon sparkles. A few days later, the house felt different. Quieter. Softer. Emma stood at the doorway of Sophia's room. The little girl was awake now, lying against her pillows, wires and tubes around her, but eyes brighter than before. "Emma," she whispered, smiling weakly. "You came back." Emma's throat tightened. "I never really left, did I?" Sophia looked at her dad, standing nearby. "Daddy told me," she said. "He told me you took his money." Emma's heart skipped. "And, are you mad at me?" Emma asked gently. Sophia thought for a moment, then shook her head. "He said you broke a big rule," she whispered, "but you broke it to keep me alive. So I think that makes you my hero." Emma laughed softly, tears shining in her eyes. Michael cleared his throat. "I gave her a new contract," he said quietly. "Higher pay. A better room. You're not just a maid anymore, Emma. You're Sophia's caregiver, and part of this family, if you want to be." She stared at him, stunned. "And the money?" she asked. He smiled sadly. "I can earn more money. I could never earn another Sophia." He later started a fund in Sophia's name, to help other children whose parents couldn't pay for surgery in time. For once, his wealth wasn't a wall. It was a bridge. Now I want to ask you. Backhand index pointing right. If someone stole your money only to save your child's life, would you want them locked up for the crime? Or thanked for their courage? Tell me in the comments, is stealing always wrong, or does the reason change everything? Thought balloon sparkles.